Man, there's nothing good this week. There's just no games being released. There's no games in it being announced. What a terrible world we live in. Alright, time to do my daily Twitter scrolling. Oh, cool. Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. Alright. This is looking pretty good. Alright, I'm a little hyped. I haven't played the first game, but I've been told it's pretty good, so just a little hyped. Oh, Sonic Colors Ultimate. September 7th, 2021. Alright. I wonder if they're going to do a Unleashed remaster too, or remake. I wonder, because unless this is just all the games that did well in Sonic's history and catalog, then, well, in that case, only this game's probably going to get remade, remastered, so, Oh? Oh! New game in 2022 for Sonic? Hope it's not another Sonic Forces, but hey, that's probably what it's going to be like anyway.
And then came the fire. Charred bone.
Woo! Hello everyone. If you couldn't tell from the intro, I am pretty hyped. A lot of news came out this week for some games, and yeah, one of my most anticipated games for this year is finally got a release date, and I am so happy. So, let's hop in, shall we? So, before we begin looking at the 3 games that I found particularly interesting this week, Dying Light 2 is finally getting released after, what was it, like 5 years when it was announced, so hey, that's pretty cool. And at least if the game's like Dying Light 1, but just expanded upon in different ways, I think this game will do just fine, and it'll probably be very fun and interesting, so hey, that's pretty good for Techland. I hope they do very well. Next on the list, Virtua Fighter is finally back, and yeah, it's coming June 1st for the PlayStation 4 console exclusively, and yeah, this is also kind of interesting. I know that it's had a long history, but I've just never been into fighting games myself, so for those Virtua Fighter fans, hey, if you have a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, go play the game. Otherwise, just kind of just let this slip under the radar for you. For you Dead by Daylight fans, Resident Evil is coming to, well, Dead by Daylight. Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine are the new survivors, and Nemesis is the new killer. So, obviously, everybody that played Resident Evil and are fans of that, and also like Dead by Daylight, have at it. I think this game's getting released or this expansion is being released in about 16 days. So, hey, have fun not getting killed by, the big scary man. So, have fun. And finally, we're going to talk about Pokemon BDSP. Oh, man. So, as I mentioned before when the games were first announced, I don't really like the art style. However, I'm not going to necessarily, say, oh, the game's going to be bad. Because if it is really just Diamond Pearl, I think it's going to be just fine. It's just the art style is a little bit jarring. And I would have preferred if they went with the Sword Shield style. But, I mean, hey, if the game was good and it's still fun, what's there much to complain about? But I will say, these touch-ups look really great. All I'm going to say is that they should use this as the official box art. Just saying. Oh, and next up on the list, Pokemon Legends RCS is coming out, and, well, it's coming out, January the 28th? So, yeah, you're gonna have to wait until next year. But hey, the game, at least in concept, looks interesting, though. That gameplay trailer was kind of bad, though. They're like 5 frames per second Chimchar? It's gotta get some work done, so I don't know if it's gonna actually get released on the 28th of January. We'll see, and we'll actually see whether or not it's a good game. I do hope so, though, but this is probably not a game I'm going to be playing in the future. Next on the list of games I want to talk about, Far Cry 6. Yeah, this looks like another 6 Days in Fallujah type situation with we're not trying to make a political statement about what's happening in Cuba, so you really can't take the real-life stories of Cuban guerrilla fighters as an inspiration and say, we're not trying to make the game political. It doesn't quite work out, but they can try. So, I honestly see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to appeal to a mass audience and say, oh, we're not making the game political. We're not going to go deep into that. And I get that, as Ubisoft as a publisher wants to, make a ton of money. So by making the game not very political or not making a political statement, this is how they appeal to the mainstream. So I don't have an issue with that, though I also would have no issue if it was political at all, because after all, games are just a art form, and they are a means to talk about certain topics and subjects, and they're also fun too. But so yeah, I find this interesting, though I'm not sure how much people really care about this. Because sure, with Far Cry 5, when it was set in America, there was some rumblings and stirrings, but it wasn't even that huge either. And there was accusations that, it was political to one side or the other. But it really didn't stir up that much of a controversy. It kind of just came and went. And so I haven't heard anything about this controversy coming up either, so I'm assuming nobody really cares. Or at least if people do care, it's not many. Because otherwise I would have heard about it, but I kind of just saw this on my feed, and I was like, oh, it's another 6 Days of Fallujah situation. So we'll see if the game's trying to make a political statement or not, and they're lying to us, false advertisements. But yeah, we'll see. So, on to the gaming news. E3 is finally coming back, and I'm a little surprised it did in the first place, but hey, that's great with them. So a little less than 2 weeks, starting on June the 12th to June the 15th, the E3 is going to be live streamed. And Sony's not going to be there, but Microsoft, Nintendo, and a few other big companies are coming, so I expect at least some big news to come out. Particularly either the Switch Pro being announced then, and or if it's announced earlier, and then some pretty big games from Microsoft and Nintendo potentially. Oh, and also to talk about the new Nintendo Switch Pro. Why the hell did they name it that? So, to talk about the new Nintendo Switch Pro, yeah, supposedly it's been leaked on Amazon Mexico, and also supposedly it's going to be announced before E3. And I feel like what Nintendo's going to do, is announce the new Nintendo Switch Pro before E3, and then during E3 come out and give out the specs, the details, and whether or not there's going to be exclusive games on there. So I'm kind of interested, but at the same time, I really hope they don't botch this and it's more like a PS4 Pro type situation where you can get the upgraded version without exclusive games, and it just runs games better. So maybe like Doom Eternal on Switch runs at 60 FPS and not 30 FPS and can play at 4K. Actually, that's not going to happen, but maybe 60 FPS 1080p. And so I think this is going to be an interesting announcement, and this makes or breaks the Switch Pro. Though, knowing Nintendo, it's probably going to sell well anyway, regardless of whether or not people really hate the idea or if they really love the idea. So, at this point, we'll just see whether or not Nintendo decides to either be asinine and make certain games exclusive to the Pro, or if they're going to just be like, hey, you can play this game at much higher frame rate and much higher resolution. I think that's what they're probably going to go for, though, because the new Nintendo 3DS, when that came out, it was like nobody really got the new 3DS for its exclusive games, Sure, it did have Xenoblade Chronicles on there, that was impressive, but nobody really got it for its exclusive games. Next on the list of Valve is trying to get into the hardware section of gaming. Yeah, they're going to try to make a Nintendo Switch-like handheld for PC games, and I think it's a good idea. Kind of. I don't know. I don't know how many people actually want to play, PC games in their bed or, on the go. I mean, for those that only have a PC with a PC-exclusive titles, yeah, I can see the appeal of doing that. But, otherwise, I don't see the full appeal. But, that's just me. However, my big issue is, are they going to have, 20 different versions of this? Like they did with their Steam PCs? I don't think it's a bad idea, but how is Valve going to approach this? Because last time, they fully botched this. And if they botch it again, I guess there won't be a third attempt. Valve never goes past the number 3, so... So sure, it'll be the first time they try to make hardware for, handheld PC games and not, a home PC, but Yeah, I don't know. If Valve can do it, that's great. It means more money, but where's Half-Life 2 Episode 3? Or just Half-Life 3? Can we get an answer on this? I really want to play that too. Besides, Silk Song, Elden Ring, Origami 2, I kind of just want Half-Life 2 Episode 3. I'm not asking for much. Just end the storyline. Come on. Come on. So, to talk about the big three games that I think made a huge wave this week, Sonic Colors Ultimate. So it's just Sonic Colors, but with new levels, probably a little bit of different lighting, few graphical upgrades here and there, and it's going to be released September 7th, 2021. So yeah, it's also going to be on the Epic Game Store, not Steam, so most people don't seem to be wanting to go to Steam, at least the big companies, if they don't have to. So, But this is pretty impactful because it shows the Sonic team is actually trying to capitalize on their old games that did really well, such as Sonic Colors, Sonic Mania. And I wonder if this trend's going to continue with their other big title games that did really well. Maybe, who knows, there might be a Sonic Adventure 2 re-release, or, Sonic Adventure 3. So I think this is very interesting, but I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be the case. Or this is just because Sonic Colors did so well and they really want to make money. Because that could also be the case too. So we'll see whether or not this is a indication of the company's future with Sonic for now, or if this is just a one-off thing and they're just like, hey, we want money. So we'll see. Next on the list, Horizon Forbidden West. And I think this is very, very, very interesting. Not necessarily because there's a sequel to one of the biggest games on the PlayStation 4, but finally that we got some more news on it. Sure, we knew that it was coming out at least sometime in the future. We got that confirmation, but we finally got some gameplay. And the PS5 hardware really do be slapping, though. So if you haven't seen the gameplay trailer, do check it out. I think it's very interesting. And yeah, so PlayStation might be getting some more exclusive games finally. Finally, Though I wonder if this is, if the PlayStation 5 is going to be kind of reserved for only PlayStation exclusives. Because, there aren't many games that are PS5 exclusive that isn't already on, the PlayStation 4. So, why do you get the PS5 version? Just get the PS4 version and then play on the PS5. Though, this is a new console generation, and they're transitioning, so for now, only Sony is going to really push PS5-only games. So, But hey, for Horizon Forbidden West looks very interesting, and I do think it's going to do very well. Guerrilla's very competent, so I think it's going to, sell well. And it's going to also look good and play well. So I'm aware that I'm pretty much the only person around that's really hyped for Origami 2. At least I haven't heard much news about its new gameplay trailer, and yeah, I'm a little sad, honestly. Origami 1 was a very, very good game. Stealth game that had very good mechanics, made you feel like a god. It had a really good story, too. Surprisingly very profound, and at least I personally enjoyed it. So, Origami 2 is coming out. It's set 100 years into the future or something like that. So, there'll probably be events referenced in Origami 1, but it's not going to be directly connected. At least, it's not going to be a direct sequel. So, I'm personally hyped for this. Because this game got pushed back from, I think, a January release date, and it came out to be a Q3 release, and so finally September 17th it's coming out. I'm very hyped. You should be too. And yeah, you should definitely buy this game and support indie developers. Oh, and one more thing to talk about hardware. The PS5 might be getting a redesign, and yeah, internally it's probably going to change something up so that it doesn't use a semiconductor or somehow circumvents the semiconductor shortage around the world. So yeah, you might be able to get a PS5 finally, and it won't be stuck, either within scalpers' hands or on the Evergreen that was stuck in the Suez Canal. Or maybe not. Scalpers might just take it all anyway. And so, all in all, this means you can get a PS5 in your hands faster. I don't know what Microsoft's going to be doing with the X and S series, though I think they're doing okay-ish. I don't know. But so, yeah, interesting hardware news. Oh, and another very interesting thing. Jeff Keighley is kicking off the Summer Game Fest is going to be starting on June 10th, which is a day before Rift Apart's released, and so I'll probably be live streaming that, and then on the 11th I'll be streaming Rift Apart, and so yeah, this is very interesting. Though, it's also right before E3. If you remember, it's June 12th is when E3 is going to start, so what's the Summer Game Fest going to do? Is it going to be like a pre-show, essentially, to E3, and show off, like, I don't know, some at least release trailers or like gameplay trailers, and then they'll go more into it in E3. I don't know what's happening here, but this does look very interesting. So, yeah, keep your eye out on this for June the 10th and become a co-streamer. I wonder if I could become a co-streamer. Submit here to become an official co-streamer and get our asset kit. Hold on, guys, I gotta do something. Oh, and another interesting statistic, Biomutant was the most pre-ordered game for the week, and was also the most sold game. Sea of Thieves is coming up next, with ME Legendary Edition, Days Gone, the Valve Index VR kit, Grand Theft Auto 5. Again, that game keeps selling. Ark Survival Evolved, The Witcher 3, and Rust, so... these games are making a lot of money. I'm not particularly surprised. Though Biomutant hasn't been getting, like, great scores. It's been mixed, but, I mean, hey, if people like the game, who am I to tell them to not play it? But, so, yeah, interesting. So, yeah, that's the end of this week's gaming news. Nothing particularly major. There's just a lot of game announcements, and, yeah, I'm all for new games, let me tell you. Particularly Origami II, but, I'm sorry, guys. I really just wish there was Silksong news or Elden Ring news. I really just wish there was something there. Something! But, unfortunately we can't get everything. Unfortunately. So, this week was kind of slow in terms of, like, game companies doing bad things and or, game companies doing this or that. So, I like it that way. I really just want to talk about the video games. So, yeah, that's the end of this week. So, hopefully next week we get Silksong news and Elden Ring news. If not, we either wait for the Summer Games Fest and E3, and if not, we continue waiting. And waiting. And waiting. Oh yeah, where's Metroid Prime 4? Now that I think about it, I haven't heard any news about that. Let me just, hold on, let me just check this. Damn. And I thought Silksong and Metroid, Elden Ring fans had it hard. Hot damn! it's been almost 800 days. Damn. Y'all people down bad. At least with Elden Ring, they got some, a leak, and Silksong kind of gets updates. I still want a release date, but, we keep getting some updates here and here. Damn. Y'all didn't even get any news at all. Yikes, I guess I don't got much to complain about. Though I do kind of want to see Metroid Prime 4. I do really want to play a Prime game, so we'll see if that'll happen at all, or whether or not this game got cancelled. Hope not, though, but, we'll see. So that's the end of today. I hope y'all enjoyed my content. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. And I'll see y'all next week, hopefully with more interesting gaming news, and nothing about Activision throwing more people off their company, salary. I don't know. We'll see. So, have a great week.